Welcome. We're back. New overlay, new week. Hopefully you guys like the new graphics and stuff. Yeah, I've been pretty busy this weekend. Rearranged the Discord, made 2 new videos. One of them is already up on my channel. You could check it out. It's like my top 10 cryptos. I uploaded it earlier today. And yeah, a bunch of new things coming soon. Really excited for this week. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend, long weekend. And we're back at it tomorrow in the market. Stock futures are flat right now. Bitcoin and cryptos had a pretty good day. Pretty nice bounce back. And we're going to see what's happening tomorrow. Going to be analyzing the market, my thoughts on all the indices and the ongoing trades and some potential new trades. And then after that, we'll do chat requests. So yeah, it's going to be a nice stream, probably about like an hour long. Just prepare for the week a little bit, get into the swing of things, and then hopefully all of us can crush it this week. So let me know how you're doing in chat. Let's get to it. We're going to start off with Bitcoin, and we're going to go over to the stock market and talk about that. But yeah, Bitcoin, pretty interesting. A lot of cryptos are also looking really interesting. If you remember about 2 weeks ago on the stream, sorry, I'm just watching something. If you remember about 2 weeks ago on the stream, I was talking about growth stocks looking pretty good. And we've seen in the past 2 weeks, ever since those growth stocks were showing these harmonics with major divergences at supports, they've had very nice rallies. Just like Fisker, that's another one, right? So very nice rally. A lot of cryptos and altcoins have actually been showing that pretty much in the past they've been creating them for multiple months, but they're really getting to those pattern completion zones in the last couple of days. And you're starting to see that initial bounce. And a lot of things are also double bottoming at those zones, which is just more confirmation. So just as I was really positive about growth stocks about 2 weeks ago, right now a lot of altcoins look good. I mean, obviously it depends on Bitcoin to play game. And Bitcoin itself, it has a bullish butterfly pattern, made a higher low. You could see it made this like kind of first low around 30k, and then it made another low around 34k. I think like on Friday. So yeah, it's hanging in there right now. It still does have that 200-day moving average and resistance around 41 to 42k, which is pretty real, but we're not even close to that yet. There still is another 10% plus room just to get to that resistance. And yeah, that's Bitcoin. Just to finish off the crypto talk, and again, I really covered it in the video I already uploaded a few hours ago if you want to look more into it, but go watch that video if you want to see like an extended coverage of these. But I put out a bunch of new crypto trades today. OXT is an ongoing trade. It already hit the first target, then it pulled back like crazy, and it's still in profit. So the first target was a 42% gain. This trade actually hit the first target in 24 hours. So if you are in the Discord or you follow me on Twitter, you were alerted on this. And then I put out 4 new ones over the weekend. FIL, it's up a little bit since the alert. NU is up a little bit since the alert. Store J is down a little bit since the alert, not even like 1%. And then Dogecoin is, I didn't even look at this. Dogecoin's moving. Since the entry, Dogecoin's up about 7 or 8% already. So yeah, the crypto trades are off to a nice start. Maybe we'll have even more this week. Depends on, what else I can find. And yeah, let's head on over into the stock market, talk about what's going on over there. We'll start with the futures. Actually, we might just skip over them. They're completely flat, so nothing changed since they closed on Friday. But if we look at the actual S&P 500 index, it's interesting. You do have that hidden bullish divergence I've been talking about for over a week now. It's actually confirmed, which is definitely good for the next maybe about 2 week outlook. That's, getting hidden bullish divergence on the daily usually is a pretty good midterm signal. The last time we got it, the S&P went up like 12% in about a month and a half. So that was a huge move. We got it again. It's obviously a different scenario. If we really zoom into the S&P 500, this was kind of how it closed on Friday. Had a little bit of a pullback towards the end of the day with the rising wedge on the 1 hour, even some triple classic bearish divergence on the 1 hour on that MACD, as you can see. So not the best close, but it was a pretty good week overall last week. So we just, maybe there was some profit taking at the end of the day on Friday. Maybe this gets invalidated tomorrow morning, but futures currently are pretty flat. So we'll see. Like I said on the last stream, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a decent pullback soon. And I don't mean like we're going to dump or anything, just because we've had a pretty solid run on the S&P 500. We went from 4060 up to 4204, so that is a 3.5% move in just about a week and a half. So if we pull back 0.5%, 1%, that would be very natural. At the same time, it's like literally a coin flip's chance that it just goes to a new all-time high, because from the closing price on Friday, it's literally under 1% away from making a new all-time high. So it's kind of a neutral area in terms of like, if you really zoom in, it's pretty neutral, but obviously everything in the long term is still incredibly bullish. You're still making higher highs and higher lows. You're still near all-time highs. And yeah, so that's really the S&P 500. The NASDAQ, as long as it's above 13,600, it's fine to me. Again, hidden bullish divergence. 13,600 was that resistance over here, and we broke over it pretty seamlessly. So as long as we can hold that, we might flip it into support if we get like a little bit of a couple red days or something in the next couple of weeks. But for now, we're just in a situation where the higher time frames are kind of neutral, but the overall trend is obviously still bullish. It's just the short-term technicals, you know, on the 1 hour chart and stuff, are just saying that maybe we're a little bit overbought, and we could easily see a pullback at some point this week, most likely. But that doesn't mean we're gonna have a bad week. I just think we're gonna see some dips after a lot of stocks have had very nice runs in the last couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens there. Anything else I want to talk about in terms of the market? The Russell is pretty neutral as well in the symmetrical triangle. ARK ETF, growth stocks, pretty much got up to the 200-day moving average and rejected it. Not the best candle off the 200-day, but again, I've been talking about this since down over here when it looked incredibly bullish, and already did have a very nice move. I mean, it went up like over 10% in a matter of a week and a half. So that was an incredible move. Natural to see a pullback at a major moving average. And then to finish it off, the VIX still, you know, lower. The VIX is actually pretty much at the same point it was in the middle of April before we, I think the S&P, well, if the VIX, yeah, let me just go back to the S&P in a second and see what happened. It kind of looks like the S&P kind of trended up with the VIX. It's strange because the VIX was going up from like April 15th to the end of April, and so is the S&P. So you don't see that too often. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But May is really like the beginning of May, if you remember. That's when we really had that big pullback across the board. And then luckily in the like last week and a half, we did get some nice price action. The US 10-year yields pretty neutral, and then finally the dollar. Good. It's back under that demand line. Obviously I care for the economy, but I mean at the end of the day, it's better for equities that this stays down and it doesn't go up. So that really recaps everything I wanted to talk about in terms of the market. Really looking into crypto and altcoins this week on a potential bounce back. We're getting those bullish technicals that I looked for when I saw the growth stocks, and we all know how the growth stocks trades have been in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, now I'm just going to go over some ongoing trades, just give an update on them before we head into the new week. And then after that, I'm going to spend the rest of the stream doing requests in the chat, but not yet though. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. If you want a free one-on-one class, you can sign up for annual premium and you get a complimentary class. Also, that's already 10% off for premium. Or if you also just want to get a one-on-one class, you can sign up for that as well. If anybody does want one, just let me know in the chat. I think I'll have to drop the link because it's not in the description. I just opened them back up over the weekend. Already done a few classes, gone pretty well. But yeah, appreciate all the support. Thank you all for the likes. We got 10 likes. Let's try and get to 20 likes. I know it's a Sunday night, so not too many people in here. But yeah, let's look at the ongoing trades and then we'll get into chat requests. HUYA, I think I alerted this on Thursday or Friday of last week. At one point, I alerted this on Friday morning, and at one point during the day it was up 5%, but then it pulled back towards the end of the day with the market, and now it's up about 2%. But the idea over here, let me just delete this. That was from a one-on-one class. Right there and right there. Sorry, I just need to fix this chart. I kind of messed with it a little bit. But you have classic bullish divergence on the daily at a PCZ of pretty much a bullish shark. Also, it bounced off a major ice line, which was 1450. That was your lows from December 2018, your lows in April, or pretty much your lows after it bounced after the COVID crash, and then your lows from pretty much like last week. So very nice bounce. As long as this is above $14.50, it looks pretty good in my opinion, just like a lot of other growth stocks which showed the same exact setup, and then they went up 20 to 30% within a week or two, which was great. Nvidia hit the first target on the way. Oh my gosh, I was messing with all these charts in like my one-on-one classes. So I just need to clear this all up. I completely forgot. Sorry about that. But yeah, Nvidia had a very big day. It was up 5%, which is a very, very good day for Nvidia on Friday. It already hit the first target of the trade. Second target's the 1272. Nvidia's at an all-time high. There was no resistance until the second target of the trade. And then support would probably be, if we zoom in on Nvidia, it would just probably be like this little consolidation range it had before legging up again. If it does dip again, this would probably become your support that you'd want to hold above on Nvidia. I'm just reading the chat. We'll do ticker requests in about 5 to 10 minutes after I finish all these. Mr. Panda, definitely need to up my chart skills. There's a free course on my channel. You can join the Discord in the description. Get a one-on-one class. However I can help you, I'll try my best. But yeah, just here to try and share what I've learned in the past 2 years. What else we got here? Damn, this stream look is slick. Digging it. Thank you very much. Took me about an hour and a half to do it over the weekend. Just productive weekend, setting up for the week. Moving on from Nvidia, Fisker. Get to that target. So close to the first target of the trade. It's up 29% since I alerted Fisker, down at $10.30. It only needs to go up about 8% more to hit the first target. And quite frankly, there's no resistance until the first target. We've pretty much cleared that resistance zone at this point. The only, I'm not going to say worry, but the only thing that we do have is some, lower time frame bearish divergence, a little bit of buyer exhaustion at these levels. Pretty extended too. We might just make a higher low and then run again, but I would obviously prefer it to hit the target and then pull back at least, but it's out of the control of me. Not too much has changed on Fisker. It's just in between 1215 and 1455, in between support and resistance. Pretty quiet day, down like 2% on Friday. It's all right. HOFV alerted this like a week or two ago. Trades up 14%, pulled back. Definitely want to take some caution on this potential daily hidden bearish divergence, where it made a lower high on price but a higher high in the MACD. So this could be an area where you might just take some profits because there is some, potential signs of a increased pullback over here. But again, if you get a nice green day, this could be invalidated. So it's just up to you and how you want to play the trade. It's already up 14%. So it's much easier to manage a trade when you're in profit compared to when you're not in profit. Next one is XPV. Literally did nothing on Friday. Hit the first target of the trade for 28%. IPGP, as long as it's above the 200-day moving average, I don't see a reason for it not to hit the first target of the trade, which is only like, trades up 12%. It's only like 3% away from the target. LVS, this is one of the slowest moving trades for sure. Would like to see this start actually catching up to the others. Still in profit, not too much. It's up about 2.5%. But it's still above support. Might just require patience here. THCB had a very nice pop, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. It looks like Wednesday, and just kind of pulled back for 2 days, or really was quiet. This one is it's really not done much for a couple weeks now. I mean, it's not like the trade's been out forever, but I would like to see it actually do something. SPG is up 5%. PGRE, it's up 12%. Nothing's really changed there. Dogecoin, as we speak, is making a move, it looks like. Up to almost 34 cents. NU is also putting in a nice move. Bitcoin's relatively flat. Futures are still down a little bit, but really nothing much. I do not have any knowledge of SafeMoon, sorry. And yeah, that pretty much recaps everything I wanted to talk about. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Just going to spend the rest of the stream doing ticker requests for all of you. Probably going to be a shorter stream. It's a Sunday night, or it's a Monday night for us, a 3-day weekend. So yeah, just going to do ticker requests for a little bit, and then we'll chalk it up there. So yeah, if you want me to look at a ticker for you, drop it in the chat and I'll take a look. Don't request something that was up 5,000% on Friday. Don't request something that IPO'd last week. Give me a chart with data, something that's stable, not a pump and dump, that I could really try and look at. We already looked at Fisker earlier. So yeah. Utu, Plug, Fubo, Burn, BCTX, okay, DraftKings. All right, so I think this should be good. I'll add more tickers when we get more tickers in a second here. We already did actually. Find anything interesting scanning at 2 a.m. Yeah, I don't know, I couldn't sleep. I just decided to scan. I put 400 tickers on my watch list last night at 2 a.m. I went through all those 400. I came out with about like 30. and then I narrowed that 30 down to 20. So I have 20 tickers on my watch list now. I share that extended watch list with the premium. Yeah, we're looking at a few stocks also. Like I said, we're looking at cryptos. I made a full video on cryptos earlier today. So that's the last video on my channel. If you want to watch it after the stream, I put like my top 10 crypto charts in the video. Let's look at these charts right here. First one is FU2. 101 is the support. It's obviously 20% higher than that. Or wait, wouldn't that be 40? Never mind. Yeah, it's 40% higher than that. Obviously a better entry area here. Let's see what else we got here. Looks like it is kind of breaking this. If you kind of ignored this fake out and this fake out, it looks like it's breaking this resistance and trying to back test it. If you want to chart it, you know, conservatively, then you're not even close to a breakout. So it just depends on what you prefer there. This one's a little bit tough to chart. I'm kind of going to say it's neutral just for the fact that it's already up, you know. Let's see here. It's already up about 41% in the past 2 weeks or so. So that's quite a big move. It has a gap to fill to the downside that kind of looks like an everyday gap. It doesn't look like a breakaway gap. It just went from pretty much 124 to 129. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not too sure about that one. Just kind of neutral. Plug, I was going to put out a trade out on this one. Just kind of missed it because earnings were there. It ended up doing very, very nicely, just like a lot of other growth stocks, which showed a major harmonic pattern, back testing a previous resistance as a support with divergence. Let me show you something, okay? This is Plug, you see. They put in a major harmonic, a bullish bat. All right, you had a bullish engulfing candle off the PCZ. You had quadruple classic bullish divergence on the daily. And at your PCZ, you were flipping a previous resistance into a support. This is one of the strongest technical setups that you can get. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, pretty much all the growth stocks, not all of them, but like 70% of them were showing the same exact setup after dumping ever since February. Now, guess what else? Guess what other industry or market is showing these types of setups, but not all the way up here at the entry areas? It's altcoins, it's cryptos. And that's why I made a full video on cryptos today, because we saw what happened when growth stocks showed these patterns. Now all these altcoins are showing these patterns. So I just, in the past, you know, couple of years, I've been charting time and time again when I see these types of setups. And it's only a 2-year sample data or sample size, but like time and time again, I've seen these types of setups really just create some of the best trades. And crypto is kind of showing that right now. And again, growth stocks are still making their moves. I'm not out of the growth stock game. I'm still super bullish on a lot of them. I'm just saying, as a trader, it's your job, and Mitch Ray talks about this, it's your job to find value in whichever market you can. You're supposed to be able to trade multiple markets and be flexible and find where, you know, imagine you're mining for gold. You need to find the areas where there's a lot of gold at, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just like a little bit, I know that wasn't really about Plug, but just for some education there, these are the things that you look for, and that's what it turns into. But at this point, you're at the 200-day moving average, which is a make or break area. You filled a gap already. Kind of also at like a previous support, as you can see from right over here, this 3-day support. It was even your candle low on January 5th. So you just had a very big make or break area. You just want to hold above 30 and you could be good. Keep going. Bubo looks pretty interesting. This was one of the things I found scanning last night that I shared with the premium. This is not a trade yet, it's just on my watch list for the week, but it finally broke over the 200-day moving average. Kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then here's your breakout. So it looks good. I mean, it pretty much closed right at the 200-day moving average on Friday. Maybe it falls a little bit under to back test that previous resistance as a support, and if it does, it could also create maybe some divergence. Not really on high time frames. You probably have to get on low time frames. But you can see that anything above 22.34 on Fubo, you really have no resistance until 34. So the longer you hold above 22, the higher the probability will be that you can eventually see 34. Maybe it takes a couple weeks, maybe it takes a couple months. No way for me to know. But moving on, we have Kern. Looks like it broke out of a falling wedge. This was never a trade. I think I might just chart that on stream. Let me just kind of redo this. Definitely breaking out of, you know, whatever downtrend it was in. It's not really putting a higher low yet, but let's see. It has certainly achieved a 23% retrace. I mean, if you're looking at this little trend, if you're going to really scale out, then you're you really haven't put much of a dent in yet. You're not even at the 236, or you're breaking the supply line. It's just kind of showing some resistance at the 200-day moving average. You could see it tested it on Friday and then pulled back. So if it can break it, then I'll zoom out again and we'll see. Kind of have like a pretty interesting area around 688. You can see resistance over here, support, 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 resistance on this one wick, pretty much the candle low on this wick. So that 688 level is a very, very historical level. So if it breaks the 200-day moving average, you do have 626, just that recent high, but this is like kind of the area where it could be headed to afterwards. A lot of pot stocks had a very good close to the week last week. BCTX, very weird chart in terms of that. So not sure what this is. Kind of looks like, let me check what the volume is on this. Pretty low volume for a $3 stock. I guess this is your support, 287. You just want to hold above that. You did have some classic bullish divergence. And it's kind of starting to curl upwards. Just very, very gappy. I usually don't trade things with this low amount of volume just because it could be pretty weird. And yeah, gonna move on from that one. Next one is DraftKings. Played some options in DraftKings, made a nice trade. Definitely could have held on a little bit longer though. Just like so many others, it had actually two different harmonics lining up with the same exact PCZ. Broke back above 44, which is a very important level. And it's just been rallying up to the 200-day moving average and pulled back at the 200-day moving average. We've looked at so many stocks in the past 5 minutes that pretty much got to a PCZ of a harmonic and then ran up to the 200-day moving average and then pulled back on Friday at the 200-day moving average. You could probably go on a scanner and find 40 to 50 stocks that hit their 200-day moving average on Friday and pulled back at it. So it just looks like that's what happened to a lot of growth names recently. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can actually break over these and continue this run-in for growth stocks. Next one is Chewy, and I know DraftKings is one of ARK's favorites. Chewy is not the best in terms of where it's currently at, but it could change very easily. So you can see here that this 75.45 level was support from March 8th until it broke it on May 5th. So for 2 months, it held above 75.45. When it finally broke it, it went all the way down to 63. And now what's happening is it's running back up to test it as a resistance. So that is, it's a break and now it's a hook, and then the go would just be like dumping. But you do have earnings in about 10 days. And again, it could easily just have like what? It could have a 5% day and break back above it. So it can get invalidated, but just for now, I would rather I don't care if I have to buy it, 5-6% higher. I'd rather see it get back above 75.45 to be more confident rather than buy right at a resistance, if that makes sense. So I don't know if my music's too loud. Just let me know if it is. If I ever have audio issues, just let me know in the chat. And then SOS. Trying to put in a move, it broke out of this falling wedge, classic bullish divergence. I would like to see it pretty much close right at the 200-day moving average, but I would like to see it get back above 350. You can see that was those were the lows in July of 2019, kind of a few candle highs over here in July of last year, and then it was like a candle low here. It's an important level. You want to get back above 350 on SOS. If you do, next resistance would probably be around 470. Just from that high it put in last month. And the next one is Tilray. Broke out of a falling wedge. A triple classic bullish divergence. There was obviously a much better entry area here. It was even testing the 200-day moving average and an ice line. So it got to a very technical area. It bounced at the technical area. Now it's pulling back a little bit. It just looks like a lot of growth names had not like a crazy pullback on Friday, but like a decent pullback. A lot of them did this at the 200-day moving average, though. This was on Tilray above the 200-day moving average, so that's still good. At this point, your support is 15. Next resistance is probably 19.48 from this high and then this low before it gapped down. So that's Tilray. Let's see. TCAT. Didn't Woof like just IPO? I might be mistaken. BTCX. Is BTCX an OTC? Is it this? is a Gubit group. I'm not too sure. You want to look at let's see, this is Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures for November. I'm not too sure what you want to look at exactly for BTCX. Let me know in the chat. So TCAT, first off, classic bullish divergence is developing on the daily. It says that, let me make sure it's good. It says that earnings already happened according to TradingView, but I'm not too sure. And I think you were talking about a bullish shark. I think it would have to get deeper for a bullish shark. Well, you are close to the 886 from X to D. But on the bullish shark, I mean, the B point wouldn't matter too much. A 41, let me just double check this. No, you're going to want a higher high from X to B on your bullish shark. I mean, from, hold on, I'm like getting confused right now. So X, A, B, okay. I mean, if you're going to consider this a lower high, it kind of did get to the 886. And then from, it depends on how you look at it. But regardless of a bullish shark, I think that this is your support. So X on April 20th. Oh, so you're looking at it completely differently. So I was just taking the whole entire structure. On the daily, this doesn't look like an XABCD to me. It just kind of looks like an XAB. Let's see on the 4 hour maybe. Maybe you're looking at it like this. I think this is how you're probably looking at it, which you can't really see on the daily, but you probably went like this. Which in this case, yeah, that is a bullish shark. So if you're looking at it on the 4 hour, yeah. So I wasn't even looking at it that way. Yeah, if you zoom in, sure, bullish shark, add an important area. I don't know if it's under or above. It just depends on how you chart your support. I mean, if I just delete everything, you're right at it. Okay, so like this 1720 area is pretty much all you got. Otherwise, you don't have any support until like 10 bucks. There's nothing here, right? Nothing is in this area. So you break this previous low from, I would assume, towards the end of April. You break that low, and yes, you do have the lows from last week, but if you break that, then what's next? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing in between. So gotta get a bounce very soon based on technicals. You're hoping for it. AMD looks pretty good to me. Again, far better entry areas. Had a fake out, which screwed me over on some options. Down over here. Gapped up. They had some good news. Anything above 74 in AMD is bullish. It's really that simple. I don't know. There's a few ways you can look at it. Some people want to look at it like a head and shoulders. Other people want to look at it as Wyckoff distribution. I'm just looking at it as a range for right now. Just going to keep it very simple. Anything above 74 is okay. Ever break that, or even if you want to be more conservative, ever break 72.50, then it could be in trouble. There's gaps to fill and not much support until like 58 then. But for now, it's okay. Yes, there is risk to get back down to support if it wants to retest it. So it is kind of a 50-50 if it's going to run up to the 200-day moving average or go and retest the support. XLE, it's like an energy sector ETF. Or mutual fund, kind of like a cup and handle with hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour. The daily is not really much of a signal on the daily, but the 4 hour tells a different story. So you can see over here, we have this cup and handle developing. I'd probably just use the handle, something like that. I don't usually like sideways handles, but that's just kind of what it's deciding to do. And then the neckline would probably be around like 54. So if it ever breaks 54, after that you still have 55, but after 55 is when it could go crazy and run all the way up to 62. So those are the levels. Have some hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour as well. Interested to see how this plays out. Next one is Woof. Very recent IPO. Not too much I can do here, I believe. Not a lot of data to work with. I just have to look at something like this, I guess. Just an upsloping channel. No divergence, no patterns, just in an upsloping channel. You just want to hold your demand line. So that's the only way I really can look at this one. Is the music glitching around? I'm not too sure. Music all good. Next one is Sun W. Let me take a look at the chat again. I know I have to add in some new takers. I could do that right now. So let's just do that. Let's see, CMCSA. Okay. What's up, matey? How you doing? Appreciate that. Yeah, I think the stream looks much better than the recent one, the green one that I've had for like the last like 2 months or whatever. So hopefully gonna keep this one for maybe another 2 months. What's up? Yeah. Yeah, what? Like, was the music acting up? You want me to turn it off? Let me try and hear myself. I don't know if there's anything with, usually I've been doing pretty, the music has not been giving any issues lately. Sounds good to me. I don't know. Nano Dimension, Sun W. All right. So Sun W, we looked at this on stream like last week. Oh, you meant it's okay? All right, thank you. We looked at this last week. Pretty interesting. Anything that's above the 200-day moving average over here is bullish. You have a lot of bullish divergence. Just got to hold above that 200-day moving average, which it's been doing. Yeah, it's good. Just got to hold above that. As long as it does. Next resistance is 13. After that, it's about 1650 after that. This is not a trade yet, just something on my watch list that I forgot who brought it up, but it's good. We'll see what happens. You know where you got to hold on that one. We'll see if it can run. Not good that it's under 51 bucks. That was an important level. Kind of just creating this downsloping broadening wedge or channel. Let me just delete this. You could probably just look at it like this as well. You know, so many different ways you could chart it. Falling wedge, downsloping channel, descending broadening wedge. However you want to, chart this. It's definitely making a downtrend, lower highs and lower lows, and it's not really flipped that just yet. It could soon. As long as it makes as long as it makes a higher low than 38 bucks. But I don't really see any historical price action over here, so I'm not too sure about this one. I don't see anything about BTCX from Sunny, so I'm just going to take that off the watch list. Viacom, another thing that's on my watch list. It's back above that 200-day moving average. Anything above 41 bucks is good in my opinion. You can see that was your low over here, your low over here. I think in the past it was also, yeah, it was your lows over here as well. This has been a very important level. I think even further back, if I'm not mistaken. No. So yeah, just pretty much over here, 41 you could see held, over here 41 held, over here 41 held. I know it's really zoomed out, but you can see that. Anything above 41 on Viacom is bullish in my opinion. It got dumped, just like Fubo did and a few others with the Archegos stuff. And it's just been quietly creating a double bottom back over the 200-day moving average. Low resistance until 53 bucks. Could be interesting. Next one is BlackBerry. It went crazy. It broke out of this falling wedge. I alerted premium members about this falling wedge. I don't think I put out a trade on it, but I believe I shared options on BlackBerry, if I'm not mistaken, which worked out well. And yeah, just broke a falling wedge. There was a lot of hype with Wall Street bet stocks last week and it just went crazy alongside them. But can you be surprised that Wall Street bet stocks went crazy last week when we were looking at the technicals? I was talking about GME, not last week, but the week before last week, right? Before any of that craziness on GME happened, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, even Tuesday as well. I was talking about GME the whole entire week before. I was sharing it with the premium members. I was tweeting it out. I was sharing with other people in the Discord, in the trading chat. It was amazing. It broke out of a symmetrical triangle, back tested the breakout, and then on the 1 hour, it had a major cup and handle with hidden bullish divergence. I shared options that went up over 1,000%. Like the Wall Street bet stocks, I don't care what anybody says, time and time again, the technicals are playing out on them. Like literally, the technicals were playing out, not really on GME, but on AMC at $2. Before it ever went crazy. At $2, it was pretty much like white coffee and structures going on here, like a harmonic as well. It was amazing. Classic bullish divergence on the daily. So like technicals. One word, technicals. Okay, I couldn't think of what to say, but these Wall Street bet stocks, the technicals just play out so beautifully. Even over here, Right over here, there was hidden bullish divergence on the daily. For anybody who was watching my streams back in pretty much the beginning of February after AMC dumped, was I not saying how bullish it looked with the hidden bullish divergence on the daily and the 4 hour? As you can see right over here, it was amazing. And then yet again, it made a symmetrical triangle. I did miss this one. I was watching it, but I wasn't too sure just because it was already up so much, and then it just went up so much more. Definitely did not get on track with that one. I would say this is the area where technicals are not really in play here. That's obviously just momentum. But if you zoom in, then you could find some technicals on lower time frames, like there kind of is on the 15-minute. Bullish bat pattern with hidden bullish divergence on AMC on the 15-minute. So I might be watching this tomorrow, but I don't know. Just if you go out to the daily, this is pretty much gambling. You could see you're in between support and resistance. And again, why did AMC top out at $36 on Friday? Why did it top out here? Did people just randomly sell it here? Or was $36 a resistance all the way back from 2016 and 2015? This whole entire chart can be told with technicals, aside from like this little part. Other than that, this whole entire chart, just from the accumulation down here to the symmetrical triangle breakout to the insanity, which was kind of on its own, but then to the rejection up there, everything pretty much here from start to finish, aside from this little leg of it, was super technical. This was the only part which was like kind of just pumping. But learn from this stuff. That's all I'm trying to say. Learn from this stuff. And BlackBerry, and we started that off with BlackBerry, but BlackBerry again, it was showing bullish technicals, and then again the hype came in a few days later. So surprised. I'm being sarcastic, if you couldn't tell. Next one's Nokia, another one that's very interesting. Kind of breaking out of this little level it's been rejecting for a couple weeks now. You could see this also kind of like a cup and handle. I mean, it's really gappy and stuff, so I don't know, but you could see 514, it was resistance over here, but then on Friday it became support. So you're right out of make or break area, you just want to hold above it. And then CMCA or CMCSA. Why can't Comcast just have like Cast or something as their ticker? I don't know. But this one, kind of neutral in my opinion. I mean, support's around 54, resistance is around 58, kind of in between them. Not too sure on this one. I don't really see anything else up here, so it looks fine until it's not. That's just kind of how you have to look at these ones that have just been going insane ever since the COVID crash. Time. I mean, look, we're just looking at the chart. You can see. I mean, a lot of times at this, 90 cent to $1 range, it's had insane bounces off of it. This time around, though, it never actually came all the way back down to 91 cents like it did over here. Let me zoom in. As you can see, it did it here, did it over here, kind of over here, kind of over here, and then it did it over here. But on this rundown, it actually only came down to 114 before pivoting again, which does show a certain level of accumulation that the bears were not able to take it all the way back down to 91 cents. It is right under resistance at 163. As you can see, it was pretty much where it topped out towards the end of April. So in between the 200-day moving average and a resistance, kind of neutral in this range. But if you zoom out, it's kind of a different picture where, yeah, it could go crazy. I mean, that next major level is $2. You can see $2 was the highs of January 2020, and it was your support from pretty much 2018 to 2019. Next one is Nano Dimension. Make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to 30 likes. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. And if you want to sign up for one-on-one class, just DM me on Twitter at ChampionVibe. And if you want a free one-on-one class, just sign up for annual premium, which is also a 10% discount for 12 months of premium. Nano Dimension, kind of something like this. It looks like it got to a supply line and rejected it. It is above the 200-day moving average. It is above support, I guess, from this low and this one. So it's just kind of in this apex area where what you want to do is break out of this supply line before falling under this support. That's kind of how all you have to look at it. And it's going to break either way by June 14th. So within the next 2 weeks, it's either going to breach this support to the downside or it's going to break out of the supply line. Even if it goes sideways, it'll eventually break the supply line. So just watch whatever happens out of those two factors, and it'll probably be telling with, a 70% probability. Even some classic bullish divergence. Kind of, I mean, this first island was a little bit weird, but kind of like the same level of negative momentum. So yeah, I mean, just looking at the negative momentum, it's at this area where historically it gets to these levels on the MACD, and it does see some short-term bounces. You are above the 200-day moving average. We'll see what happens there. Let's see what else we got. It's probably the last round of ticker requests for the night. I'm just going to do what's already in the chat. Just 4 more. FEYE, Rocket, LMT, VDRM. We already did BlackBerry, so I'll close it out for the night. FEYE. This was a trade. I think back around over here, then it just kind of did nothing for a long time. And I think I like stop hunted or something. I can't remember, but it looks like it actually broke this downsloping channel, which we were kind of playing originally over here. It just never broke out of it to the upside. Had the classic bullish divergence and everything. Finally broke it, even back tested it and flipped it into a support or demand line. And if we zoom out, it's definitely above 21 bucks, which was at highs from November of 2018. So there was for sure a better entry area on this one, probably on the back test. So you are buying it at a premium after it's already gone up 18%. So could it pull back before going higher? Absolutely. I would say there's probably a good chance it pulls back. Even if it goes up a little bit more eventually, I mean, it's just been going straight up for about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's probably going to see a pullback at some point, but that shouldn't be too much of a concern as long as it's above 21 bucks. And if it can stay above that, you have a gap fill all the way to 26, back from 2015, 6 years ago. And there's really not much until then. I mean, you do have those previous highs, which is also around the gap fill. So it got so close to filling the gap in December of last year, but it was shy of it, as you can see. Rocket. Gotta get, it's at a make or break area. You can see that this 1777 was the lows from October of last year. You want to get back above that. It closed like right under it on Friday. So it needs to reclaim that 100%. That was even kind of your little high that you made on May 18th. It's an important level. You're just like cents under it, so you want to reclaim that. If you do, yeah, there's obviously a lot of upside on Rocket after what it's done. And I like the company fundamentally. I do think that personally, just in my opinion, this got way oversold. Heavy reaction to earnings. I didn't even really look into the earnings, but I mean, yes, this was a pump, but if the fact that this stock can go to 43 regardless of a pump and then go all the way down to 16 in just about like 2 months, it's been a crazy market. LMT might be breaking out to the downside of symmetrical triangles. One thing I will say though is, out of all the patterns, the one pattern I see the most amount of fake outs with is the symmetrical triangle. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this happen, and then this happens. Or vice versa, where it breaks out to the upside and this happens. Like, I haven't looked at what Bulkowski said about the probabilities of the symmetrical triangle, but I mean, to begin with, it's already a neutral pattern, but it's just, I don't know how much I can trust them. I've seen so many fake outs. I'm sure many of you who've been charting them for a while have seen a lot of fake outs on these, neutral patterns in the first place. So I don't know how much that matters, but we'll see. Kind of just really choppy. You probably could call it a cup and handle. This is your cup, and then this was your handle, or you're still handling. This whole entire thing could be your handle. Just consolidation after the rounding bottom. Eventually 402 is probably your resistance, or just 400 psychological resistance. But you certainly had the last pretty much 4 months to be buying it at a lower price. So I'm not too sure. Sorry, I mean, again, I don't like, making things up and just trying to, there's a lot of other streamers who they just say whatever they think will please their audience. So they'll just say, oh my gosh, this is so bullish when there's literally nothing on the chart. I'm just straightforward. I'm just trying to share what I see. And if I don't see anything, which unfortunately as a trader, you're not going to see everything probably on most charts, you're not going to see all the things you look for. That's just not how it works. They're kind of rare things to get those high, super high probability setups. So I just like speaking the truth based on what I've learned. If I don't see anything much to talk about, never take it personally. That's just how I trade. I look for the most amount of variables, and there's thousands of other stocks I can trade if I can't find them on one simple chart, right? And I'm not saying this particularly for this chart. I just know on probably the past 20 tickers I've looked at, at least half of them, I've just been I'm not too sure. That's just the truth. And I don't think it's good that a lot of other people are trying to promote that there's so much certainty in trading and you have to know and you have to predict the future. A lot of those people do not know who Mark Douglas is, and they have not read Trading in the Zone or they've not watched Mark Douglas's lectures. Like, trading is all about just being okay with not knowing and strategizing your risk and looking for just a higher probability. There's no certainty. Like I say quite often, there's no certainty in trading unless you're doing it illegally. So you have to be okay with that. And unfortunately, all these new retail traders are getting into the game listening to people saying, oh, this stock is for sure going to go up tomorrow. Like, what is that? Sure, maybe in a bull market, probably the best bull market ever, it will. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are going to get destroyed because they're taking, trading information from people who don't know what they're doing in the first place. So I don't know. That was just like a little bit of a rant, which was kind of random. It wasn't really particular to anything. I just kind of segued into it. But BDRM, it's 3 cents. It's an OTC. I don't know anything about it. And it's in a range. It's in between 1.4 cents and 3.8 cents. So anything within this range is kind of like 50-50, honestly. If it breaks above it, I mean, your next resistance is like 7 cents. It's very volatile. Not something I would trade personally, but to each their own. I do like the slightly higher lows from this low to this low. There's not really a low here yet, but it is slowly making those higher lows. So we'll see what happens if it can either break this resistance or if it rejects it. You do have a mini support at 2.2 cents, and then after that 1.4. So yeah, Rocket, we already looked at it. I think Rocket needs to get back above 1777. It closed right under it on Friday, so we just want to see Rocket start closing above 1777. And yeah, we looked at it like 5 minutes ago, or maybe even less. It's right there in the chat right under me. You can just scroll back a little bit. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Make sure to hit that like button if you didn't already. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. Today's the final day that I'm offering the free one-on-one class if you sign up for a premium or if you sign up for annual premium. So if you want to sign up for annual premium, the link's in the description. If you do sign up, DM me on Twitter at ChampionVibe, and I'll hook you up with a free one-on-one class as a thank you. Just like a little bit of a deal right there. And don't ask me for it tomorrow because I'm not going to give it to you. So yeah, appreciate all the support. Join the Discord. Anybody can join it. And good luck trading this week. I hope we all crush it. Thank you for coming out to the stream. I appreciate all the support. You guys are the best. Have a great night and peace out. Peace out, Scrooge. I see you in the chat. Vibes. All right, see you all. Devices.